Hi, welcome back to the Leanademy channel. I am excited to share a new video today, Introduction to Lean Six Sigma. This will be a part of a weekly series that I'm starting to do this week, and hopefully, if you ever have any questions or anything, please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to get any future updates. So let's get started. So Lean Six Sigma is Lean and Six Sigma combined, which is where we get the Lean Six Sigma. So basically, we have two robust methodologies. Both are powerful by themselves. But one thing to remember is that Lean removes the waste and Six Sigma removes those defects and variations. So we're removing the waste and then we're removing the defect and variation. So by combining those two things together, we provide a really more robust results. So some of the benefits you would see is, of course, improved profits, reduced costs, operational efficiencies, improved customer satisfaction, and more importantly, empowered employees. One thing I always like to stress is that if our employees are happy, then if our employees are happy, then all of the other bullet points of those benefits will come into play. So what we're doing is combined and efficiently applied, it can be a very transformative and powerful business changes. So let's just look at the lean part, right? So what is lean? Lean encompasses all of this. So basically, it's a methodology to identify and eliminate waste. It also eliminates the non-value added activities. And the process is characterized by delivering what is precisely needed, right? So we try to eliminate those 8 waste. I will have another video on the 8 waste. We're delivering a near perfect process, and what we're looking at to do here is have that continuous improvement mindset. And this is, once again, the empowerment of all employees. And a lot of times people ask me about lean not being flexible and nimble, but what I like to say is most of the time, when you use lean does allow you to be flexible and nimble, especially if there's market changes or there's another pandemic that might come into play. And lean is derived from that Toyota production system. So let's jump right into that lean history. So back in 1885, if you think about craft production, you had very highly skilled workers, but you had very low production rates and high costs because everything was customized and fit on assembly. But then in 1913, we had what was called mass production. So let's think about Ford, right? So we look at we have a moving production line, but what we're looking at too is workers we don't have any customization. So here we're able to take unskilled workers, put them in the production line, but we have high production rates and low cost. But we still have quality issues and no customization and inflexible models. Then once we get past, the so we have craft and mass production. Now we're moving into that Toyota production system, where workers are problem solvers and workers own the process. The process isn't owned by the manager; it is owned by by all the workers along the line. And what we look at, it's very responsive to change and very high quality. So now we have improved productivity, lower costs, and high quality. And then as you start to move into present, we use what's called lean enterprise, right? So it's applied to all areas of the organization, not just in manufacturing on the manufacturing floor, but it's also applied into front office, back office, and it can also even be applied into the service industries, right? So we have optimization that we're delivering to our customers and everyone along that value stream, right? So we have improved productivity, low cost, and high quality. And you can see now how we're moving into where it's not just Toyota that uses it. You look at, like, we're thinking about GE is a big one that comes to my mind that uses that today. So we look at the Toyota production system. I like to look at it as a house, right? The Toyota production system encompasses a lot of things. So if you think about the roof of a house, we first have to start, before you put the roof really up, you really do have to put the floor in, right? So we have stability. And then we start to build in the walls, right? So we have just in time, operating with minimal resources, lean systems. You can see all the different things here that go into a lean system: a Kanban, pull system, one-piece flow, takt time, value stream. And then we start to build in quality, right? So we have automation with a human touch. I like to just point out that automation's been around for a very long time in different capacities. But with Lean, we like to add that human touch in with it so we can detect abnormalities. We stop and respond and fix those things. And then we have what's even more interesting, what I like to think about Lean in today's system, it's we have harmony between the humans and machines. And as we start to move into more advanced technology with more advanced automation, intelligent automation, or even with AI, we like to look at how do we create that harmony between the humans and the machines. And then we have our different Lean systems that we can do. So now that we have all of that, we have high-skilled employees, right, with minimal input into our process with maximum output. And then we have operations, customers, value, which then leads into our minimum lead time. So here we have operational leveling or flow, right, standardized work. I want to say operational leveling is a huge thing that comes out of Lean. So we all have balanced work. And so not just one person is doing the work, we have it spread out consistently across the all of operations or along the entire value stream. Some Lean tools, right? So if you think about continuous improvement, Kaizen is continuous improvement. So if you start to look at, we want to expose the waste and non-value add, and some of the tools we use for that is the value stream mapping, Gemba walks, 5S, and visual management. But then we also want to control the process, right? So we use future state value stream mapping, the 5S again, mistake proofing, standardization, quick changeover, pull systems, just a couple things to keep in mind as we start down your Lean journey. You expose the waste and non-value add, but then we move into controlling that process. So let's move into what is Six Sigma. So Six Sigma is, I like to start with always this quote from Edward Deming: a broad process will beat a good person every time. So what I try to look at with Six Sigma, it's a disciplined, data-driven approach to process improvement. It's just not throwing a dart on the board and hoping we land on something. We're actually using data to help figure out where those defects are so we can eliminate them and reduce that variation in the process. But we also gain breakthrough with use of process knowledge, right? We need to have our SMEs there. We need to do those process walks with the Gemba walks to actually understand what's going on with the process. But a Six Sigma does affect the bottom line, and I'll share an example at the very end. But we do have tangible business results and cost savings, right? So 85% of our opportunities are within the process itself. I'm not even talking about technology. I'm just talking about regular types of process improvement. So our Six Sigma history, we'll just do a little quick Six Sigma history. So 1984, it was developed at Motorola by Bob Galvin and Bill Smith. They developed the methodology and created those objectives. And then we start to move into 1985 with Dr. Henry, where he created the MAIC, right? So the measure, analyze, improve, control part of the DMAIC approach, so Six Sigma approach to achieve high levels of quality, right? With some problem solving. Then we move into 1995 with Jack Welch at GE, where he brings Six Sigma to GE and where he also added the define. So now we have the full DMAIC approach. And then other companies started to model their Six Sigma after GE. And then also we looked at what's called Design for Six Sigma was introduced. And this is where a lot of times we used the design for Six Sigma to come up with new processes or even new products and new processes for those new products. So now if we get into the present, I always say I like to combine Lean and Six Sigma together. I don't like to use one or the other. What I like to do is I like to combine those all together. And some good examples here where I've seen it used. I'm going to say it's at Samsung. I've seen it used at AT&T. I've seen it used, actually, I just flew Thai Airways. You can see all the different places where it has been used. And so we're looking at Honeywell and American Express. So we start to think about Six Sigma values, right? We're looking at variations in the process. So we have different Sigma levels. And what that refers to is the standard deviation from the mean. And so what we try to do is we measure the closest specification limits that are set by the customer. It's not set by us, it is set by the customer. And then we start to look at defect per million opportunities. So basically, as your defects go down, your Sigma level rises. So if you look here, like right at Sigma level 1, you have a 69% defect rate. assuming level 2, you can see our defect rate goes down. We have a 30% defect rate, and so on, and then when we finally get up to a 0% defect rate, where we have Six Sigma. I can tell you in real world, I have not seen Six Sigma. I have seen as high as a 4. I've seen a 5 happen a couple of times, but then the process dips down to a 4, and that's okay because, to be honest, it's hard to get a 0 defect rate. So let me this is an example of a Lean Six Sigma project that I worked with my client on in the service industry. Just a couple of things to remember, right? So value add was anything the customer will pay for. Non-value add is anything the customer not willing to pay for, and non-value add that's necessary, right? So think about validation, safety checks, regulations, inspections that have to be there. So the old process was we have a lot of variation. As you can see, 1.5 weeks to 5 weeks, we had a lot of variation in this process. You can see here where we had value add, right? It was very small, non-value add, and waste. So what we're seeing here is we had too many meetings, too many validations, human error, too many forms, unnecessary fields, old IT system, and zero integration between systems. And basically what was happening here is this was delivering a product to a customer. And like you said, the customer satisfaction was so bad because the variation was so big. So the new process after all the improvements were put in was 1 week. So you could see cycle time has gone down, but you can see greatly how much we now have more value add versus non-value add in that waste, right? So we did have non-value that are necessary. That's what was left in this yellow. We still had some waste that we're trying to work out, but overall 1 week was a really good result with this client. Now they can be predictable on when they were going to deliver something. So some of the improvements they did was they only had one kickoff meeting and standard set of validations, instead of having validations all over the place. A new IT system was put in to provide automated updates along the process. The IT system they used was already being used by another organization. It was just easy to put them onto it. Then we had standardization that was built in or embedded into that IT system with one global form that they did up on a website versus using Excel. And along with that, we had mistake proofing, and then of course integrations between the different systems that had to be interacted with. So like I said, going down from 1.5 weeks to between 1.5 to 5 weeks down in 1 week was a great result for this customer. So that's it for our introduction. I hope this was a quick little introduction for you. Please subscribe to our channel. Or if you'd like to further information to learn more about what Leanademy has to offer, please visit our website. I'll have links in the comment down in the comments. And then of course you can also send us an email. Thank you.